Hello, everyone. My name is Yoon-Suk Ko, and I'm an executive principal at National Information Society Agency in Korea. I have been working for my company about 20 years now, and um, I have been working for e-government for 8 to 9 years, and then ICT convergence for about 9 years, and rest of those time I have I have been working for data only. Korea's ecosystem consists of three main data platforms. The first platform is Government Open Data Platform. The second data platform is 21 domain-centric big data platforms. The last one is AI data platforms we call AI Hub. Digital public infrastructure. First of all, people talking about infrastructures, networks, for example. That's very much main example of digital public infrastructure. Then all the services, for example, tech services or real estate services, very much close to based on e-government services. But nowadays we are talking about AI services, but how those AI services are working. If you don't have data for AI services, you cannot really run or develop or maintain those services. That's why, data is the core component of digital public infrastructure. For Korea's data ecosystem, as I said, there are three platforms. First of all, government open data platform, which opens all the information or data from all the government institutions. For example, by the law, the Korean public institutions or organizations have to open their data or information, anything through this data platform. So usually people go to this platform and searching for any kind of data they want, especially focusing on government data. Second, big data platform. We trying to boost data economy with this 21 big data platforms because if you think about government open data platform, all data are free because it's provided by the government. So anybody can go to the government open data platform and download any data for free. But 21 domain-centric big data platforms, if you go to any of those platforms, you can buy or you can exchange your data. For example, weather data, you can buy $1,000, or sometimes some people sell their data for $1 million. So this is very important because you don't get any data for free from internet or anywhere, so that you can exchange or you buy or you sell your data through the platform so that you can really boost your data economy for your country. That's a very important role. And the last one is AI Hub, AI data platform. In order to train your AI services, how are you gonna get those training data sets? For example, SMEs, small and medium-sized companies, they are very much struggling to get those training data sets because it's hard for them to collect or process or maintain or use those data sets. So it's very much government role to collect and process those data sets for the companies. My main role is combining those data platforms together is the first role. There are government open data platform and 21 domain-centric big data platforms and AI data platforms. They are pretty much separate. But if you would like to build a the data ecosystem for your country, you have to merge those data together so that users do not recognize which platform they have to go, which platform they have to go and download. Uh, they do not worry about that. You combine those data together so that users just go to a portal site and download whatever they want and search data whatever they want. So that's my main role. The second role is second main role was to develop AI training data sets. People think about AI training data sets are very easy to develop, but it's very hard and it's time consuming, and you have to invest a lot of money. For example, from 2020 to 2022, the Korean government invested 1 billion US dollars in order to create about 800 AI training data sets. I'm talking about 1 billion US dollars. That's a lot of money, and we only created about 800 AI training data sets. In order to create those about 800 AI training data sets, we went almost everywhere in Korea. We went to mountains, we went to rivers, we went to buildings. We went almost every. If you name the place in Korea, I think we have been there. That's a lot of data we collected, as well. In addition, we also focusing. We are very much focusing on the data. For example, healthcare data. That's a very much hard for companies to collect those data sets because the data protection laws are very much intense, and so that not many companies can collect those data sets in Korea. So as a government, we can collect those data sets and we can process those medical data sets, and we can open with a certainty of security for data sets. That's two main roles for Korea's data ecosystem. Traditional digitization. We usually, when we talk about traditional digitalization, we identify any kind of problems, and then in order to solve those identified problems, we develop services. That's very much ICT and problem-solving, traditional digitalization. But nowadays, when we talk about DPI, we need totally different approach, because when we talk about DPI, we are talking about component. Component means it can be work for A service, it can be work for B service, it can be work for C service. So which means all those services has to be modular, so that it can combine with A, it can combine with B, it can combine with C. But when we talk about traditional digitalization, it works for A service only, it works for B service only, it works for C service only. That's a very much big difference. And when we talk about modularization, we are talking about all modularization service means each module has to talk only through API, not other things. It has to be a black box, and when these module talks with other modules, it always has talks with API, so that it doesn't affect anything inside of the module. That's very much a different approach for DPI. So reusability and modularization is very critical for nowadays, DPI based, digitization. Let's think about what we need to do when we are right now we are living in the AI era, right? And all services, AI-based services, always need new data. How are you going to get new data for every day for your AI services? It's impossible for one company or one nation to get all the services to train their AI services. So it's very important for all companies and all government, even all government, to make data ecosystems so that data circulate all the time through companies and through nations, so that you get fresh data in order to train your AI services. Uh, but you cannot really create all those data sets. So the main role for Korean government is that how we circulate, how we create a data ecosystem so that all the data in Korea circulates every day for all the services, so that we can use data efficiently for the national level. That's our main role. In order to do that, I always emphasize data classification model is very much needed, which means how are you gonna, how are you gonna classify data is very important. For example, you have agriculture data, you have medical data. Sometimes you need to combine agriculture data with medical data, but if you don't have very detailed and very fine data classification model, it's very hard or almost impossible to combine those data correctly. So the first thing, as a government or national level, the data classification for the nation is the first task to do. And then second thing is explanation of data. How are you gonna explain the data? For example, we're talking about metadata and those things, but in order to meet all the AI services, we have to explain data very explicitly and detailed, so that we can see data and we can choose right away. Those two things are very much needed. Okay, the first one is data protection, of course. That's extremely difficult for us to overcome, because, for example, let's assume that you develop a autonomous driving AI solutions. In order to do that, you need a lot of data, driving data. What we did was we put a lot of cameras on cars and let those cars drive and collect all the data. But think about when you driving cars, you can take a lot of people's faces and other cars, tag numbers. You collect those data as well. But in Korea, by the law, we have to remove those all privacy data. So those are very difficult. For example, one data set, we have about 500 or 500 gigabyte, data we collected from the call, and each data we went through, and if there's some people's face, we remove those face, de-identify those data, and if there's a tag number, we have to remove those, and that was the hardest part, and it costs a lot of money as well, and we hired about 45,000 people per year in order to do that. That was the first challenge. The second challenge is quality. Of course, quality. I mean, data nowadays we can find a lot of data, in somewhere, uh, but high quality data is very difficult for anybody to find. So, uh, but performance of AI services very dependent on data quality. So, how much quality you keep on your data is very critical. So in order to do that, we assess the data several times. For example, in order to finish one data set, it took about 6 to 1 year only for assessing data. So that's the second challenge. And of course, third challenge is money and time. Everybody has limited time and money. That was very, very difficult challenge for us. Those three things are, major obstacles or problems we have to overcome. Let's go back to 2020. 2020, what happened in this world? Um, we remember COVID-19 pandemic, broke out. So everyone was very much suffering. The Korean government, at the time, the Korean government decided to promote ICT convergence industry as well as, citizens. So in order to do that, we found, the Korean government launched, Digital New Deal. The core of Digital New Deal is, data building Korea's data ecosystem. Okay, so we are very much lucky. So we, got about $1 billion from the Korean government in order to build those, data sets as well as creating Korea's, data ecosystem. And but it's not enough. Still, we are working on it because data is very tricky. We thought we are very much, complete the data, but if we check one more time, there's errors. We have to correct it, and it's continuous working, and that was the hardest part. And of course, in order to do that, you have to invest a lot of money and time and people. So that's how we overcome those difficulties. I mean, I can give you two examples. First of all, if you're a business owner, you would like to open your business in some area, but how are you gonna open your business? For example, you would like to open, chicken fried shop. You have to search all the information. Is it a good place to open that store in that area? How much will I get? Or how many customers, I can get? Those are all questions that you have to answer for yourself before you open your store, right? But people, you are not really expert in data. You cannot, search all the data that you need. You're just businessman. So one of the examples we provide as a government is if you are a business owner and if you want to open your store in some area, you can go to website and check all the things. So how many people go through around your area that you are interested, and then several stores around your area, how many customers they usually get. Those all informations can be provided to you, and then based on those information, you can decide is it a good place for you to open business or not, or you have to move other places, right? And the other thing is, as a government, we are very much, as a government, we really have to take care of, you know, the disabled. For example, uh, some people who cannot hear use train, for example. Uh, but while taking the train, there's a fire. Uh, but usually alarming for normal people, alarming goes on, and probably some people speak on speakers so that you can hear. But if if somebody who can hear anything, they cannot do anything. They just sit there, right? So oh, after we provided AI training data sets, we provided hand sign language data sets. Based on those data sets, a company created a hand sign services so that they can put those hand sign languages on the train monitors, and so that all the people who cannot hear can see and what's going on, and if there's an emergency situation, they can get out of the emergency situation, or they can follow the orders. Those are kind of big examples for creating good data ecosystems or data services. All the businesses, companies. As I said, there are about 1,000 AI-related companies, even big companies as well. Even though you are a big company in Korea, it's very hard for you to invest, for example, $1 million for only data. That's almost impossible because it's time consuming, and also you need a lot of people, you need to hire a lot of people, and that's really painful. But because we create this very concrete government national data ecosystem, now if they if you have any idea, you don't have to worry about data. You just go to our any data platform, then download data and try to develop your services. That's how easy it is if you have data, and that's why the government has to really provide data to your citizens. And then second is citizens. If they participate in this data project, for example, some people participate in data labeling, or some people participate in data assessment. Some people participate in data collection. As I said, we hired about 45,000 regular citizens per year for 3 years. And once they participate in this project, they are very much open to AI services, which means later several companies develop and open their AI-based services. You will have a lot of customers who are open to those services, and they probably gonna adopt those services. Okay, that's really big boost for your nation to AI industry. The last one is the knowledge and experience that we accumulated. It sounds like national data ecosystem. We collect those data and process data, and put all the data into the platform and let them use it. No, it's not worked like that way, because there is a lot of strategies or plan. You need a lot of strategies and plans in order to collect the data. You also need a lot of plans and strategies for processing data. and assessment is really totally different approach you need. So those experiences and knowledge we accumulated, that's a lot of help for boosting up AI industries later. When we start this project, we think about, okay, data companies are very much welcome for this project, and they are major participants for this project. But we're totally wrong, because all companies, for example, agriculture company, they are very much interested in creating data sets and collecting data sets, or culture companies, tourism companies, and any manufacturing companies or construction companies. They come to us and they would like to participate in this project, because they desperately need this they desperately need data, but they were very much suffering to collect or use data sets, so they love to participate in data sets. So about when we start this project, about 500 companies, they are very much from different industries participate our project. And then in 2002, we are about 1,000 companies participating in this in this project. That's really company level. There are three major stakeholders. First of all, platform developers, of course. They are, as I said, there are three major platforms in Korea, and government open data platform, and 21 domain-centric big data platforms, and AI data platforms. They are main stakeholders. Those platforms are operated by the government agencies. So, they are main stakeholders. They are collecting all the data from everywhere in Korea. And second part, data contributors. They are, they must be usually government agencies and companies, businesses. The reason for data contributors is that, when they, contribute their data, they also can get different data from the data platforms. That's the main reason. The third part is stakeholder is data developers. That could be regular citizens, or specialists. For example, medical data. In order to create medical data, you really need medical specialists. For example, from MRI, you label kind of cancer, from MRI, slot. Then you really need medical person. But just recognize building or recognize people. Anybody can do this. So regular citizens can participate in this project. So I would say there are three stakeholders. This is very good question, but it's very hard for me to answer because a lot of countries ask me, what is the best data governance for their countries? But there's no one answer for that. Let me just tell you the Korean data governance. The Korean political system is presidential system. So president has the biggest power. So we have the presidential committee who oversees all ICT plans and major agenda, as well as data governance as well. So the presidential committee is the main driving force. then below presidential committee, there are two ministries. The first ministry is Ministry of Interior and Security. They are in charge of all the public data, which means any data related to government is up to Ministry of Interior and Security. And then there's a Ministry of Science and ICT. They are in charge of private data, which means business data. And if they have to, merge it together, those two ministries working together communicate, and then presidential committee oversees those projects as well. That's how, if there's a conflict between those two ministries, the presidential committee, manages those conflicts as well. So that's how, good governance really works. And of course, we have a lot of conflicts all the time relate to data, but until this point, we wisely overcome those conflicts together. The first one I would like to emphasize is that choose the right time to deploy the policy, because a lot of countries developing really good policies for their country, but if you are not right timing, it's very hard for you to execute the policy. So choose the right time for you to deploy the policy is the first one. And then second thing, adopting an agile and accurate decision making, because a lot of people thinking about a bottom-up approach is very very good, but sometimes you have to take top-down approach as well, because bottom-up is very concrete and you can see everything, but it's very slow sometimes, right? So maybe you're gonna lose your right time. So top-down approach and bottom-up approach, you have to really merge it together and see, decide which time you need to, choose which approach is very much important. And then third one is use the collective intelligence of crowd works. We are talking about data in AI era, which means big data, right? Humongous big data. Later on, it's gonna be bigger and bigger every day. So which means one agency or one organization or one country cannot cover all data they need. So we have to work together, which means we have to, help from each citizen. We have to get help from each institution, organization, or businesses, and we have to get help from each country as well. So collective intelligence of crowd workers. I cannot emphasize the importance of data quality anymore. It's quality and quality and quality. Quality is everything. So if you have time and money, please invest on data quality. That's very important, and later on it's gonna be more and more important for the future. I have been working for developing services and ICT convergence services, those are things. But over the last 3 to 4 years, working on data is my favorite work, but it's very difficult. So if you would like to create a data ecosystem, start small and concrete. And the first one should be data classification model for the nation. Then, make the project or service bigger and bigger. That's the way for a successful story. Thank you very much.